As it now stands, the PNP cannot avoid losing the election. Why? Well, for one, they cannot navigate internal conflicts effectively. Hey everyone, it's SkyWalker. I have a huge bowl of boiling coffee for you to smell, and it smells like the PNP will be hard pressed to win the next election, PNP country or not. Again, why do I say that? Because it is like a party comprised of Hutu and Tutsi, and that is a no good combination. There are different beliefs, a lot of hate, and no room for compromise between the PNP and the RISE United. RISE United is the minority, uprooting the PNP just in the same way that Tutsi leader Kagame is the minority, tracking down Hutu to as far as the Congo to make sure and uproot them, but also using it to steal everything they have, like stealing the resources in the Congo. But in order to win the masses, the PNP have to work with Rise United or vice versa. The Rise United have to work with the PNP, make the PNP believe they matter in order to gain votes and trust, and then uproot them like they uprooted Craig Oates after all that he did for them. Didn't I explain this months ago? How long now since I have been telling you that the PNP was replaced and you never believed me? Your Democratic Socialism Party is now a Rise United capitalist movement that operates similar to what Donald Trump has done or is doing to the Republican Party, him and his billionaire friends. But Mark Golding, who imitates that same kind of movement, describes his own movement as him and his Tapanaris friends. It is the same thing, a new kind of thing, which would be compatible to a new world order that takes away the wealth from the general masses, but only if we allow it to be. It does not have to be. For the people will always decide. The people will always have power. This kind of movement makes private organizations own countries like you own businesses, and these leaders can become as disdainful as Dayton Campbell because they will own everything, including the law. For that reason, leaders will be able to break the law and then sue you if your underage child screams out for molestation and you defend them against some molester who is intrinsically linked. Then these sellout grudges, mostly women, would impugn the integrity of young girls and say that it is the law, adding that we have the best law in Jamaica. That's what they would add. But look around you. The wicked that do the wickedness, because they are not only lied up but judged up to, send threats to you. They sentence to you, their victims, saying they should shut up or you should shut up. Many judges in Jamaica have turned to grudges, and I have been warning you for so long. I've been saying it, right? Not that everyone who do these things know what they are about or what kind of movement they are joining. All right? But I believe that there's always someone who knows where they are going. And there are always these believing folks around them that do their bidding, thinking it's for something else. Just like how the PNP is running behind Rise United and believing it's something else. It's the similar thing. These People will threaten to sue you if you speak up against taxpayers' money being stolen. Even if a them said them a thief, this is where you have to nip it in the bud, my people. Don't budge another inch. Anyone who says he is involved with collecting or issuing taxpayers' money for his political party's benefit is telling you that he is a damn thief. That is what it means. The man say him a thief, brother. The man say him a thief. Ask PNP campaign manager Dayton Campbell how we money go and how much did get take away for the PNP campaign machinery. We don't know. Dayton said that he knows how it go. At least some of it. This is not Dayton making accusations about Andrew Holness. This is Dayton telling us clearly that he, the PNP campaign manager, is overseeing our stolen property and so damn proud about it too. But we want it back, brethren. It's ours. So you can't sue us to want it back. We didn't give it to you. So how come you have it? Or how you come by it? And my understanding is that Big Ben, Marky G, if not always the accomplice, has become one by not distancing himself and removing Dayton Campbell from that position where he stays and receives stolen public funds. We want back our money. Piggy and Joffy build something useful as usual. Right? Right? Mr. Campbell, you're not going to browbeat the entire Jamaica. Not today, Satan. Not today. Alright? We have to look out for our country. The people must hold on to the people's power. That is what the traditional PNP was about. That is what the JLP is still about. The third party, RISE United, who has kidnapped the PNP, is about the capitalist state that Donald Trump and his billionaire friends them are about. It's a similar thing. Foolishly, many think it has to happen, but it does not. Just spew out the capitalists. That's all. Piece of cake. In the case of the US, we all know that what they now have is all good for them. It will help with making the world a better place. For countries that were marginalized, the opposite is true. And it's not something I want to get into. If you see what I'm saying, you see it. If not, you don't. The People's National Party in Jamaica faced significant challenges, including internal conflicts, disorganization, and a perceived shift in core values. Addressing these issues is crucial for the party's future and for maintaining a healthy democratic process in Jamaica. Think about the basic procedures that must be compromised in a Hutu Tutsi situation. For example, candidate vetting and training. How do you train someone to act according to the rules when your movement is anarchy and is against the command procedures, the rules? Plus, if your party is new, where do you find experienced workers unless they are the few PNP members that switch to RISE and can be trusted as such? You must go and do a thorough background check to ensure that each candidate has a clean record and a strong reputation to maintain the party's integrity. My friend, Rise United cannot work if it looks for clean candidates. Hello. They must look for the corrupt people, convicts, gangsters, corrupt cops, etc., because they will go against the grain, as that is the intentions of those that come to compromise the system. create chaos and use that chaos to take over the reins. These are the kinds of people that will help Trump in America. Goody goody two foot shoes will betray you by insisting on doing the right thing. Get it? If Jesus wanted the job and he was up against Isaac Buchanan, Mark Golding would have to choose Isaac. Why? Because Isaac would seem more flexible, for want of a better word. The same strategy may be used in the police force worldwide. For example, in cases where the worst cops get promoted, so they will owe their supervisors a favor. It happens. And it's a common offense. That's what we call it. We call it common assault, right? It's a common assault. If it must be based on an arm that works for shady politicians, then, well, use your imagination. Tivoli was attacked by the Jamaican security forces every time there was an election in Jamaica. You remember that? That's what used to happen. I don't know how many cops like these are in politics. I mean, not necessarily having to do with the Tivoli incident, but anyway, they were employed to kind of corrupt situations to, to the benefit of some handler. And this is not about specifics. I am only explaining a worldwide game to you. Mark Golding's Rise United was made in the exact image of a worldwide game that makes you wonder if there is some major handler, maybe a billionaire somewhere out there in Europe. The new idea is to own countries, and this can happen when the people give their power to a beast. Hello, mic check. The PNP cannot avoid losing this election because their Rise United candidates have no preparation for interviews, etc. Candidates were not trained on how to handle public statements and media interviews to prevent damaging remarks because Rise United don't know about politics. They are capitalists, the crooked type that can't even run a business. So let that sink in. If you are dictators in a capitalist country, you simply own the people and labor them with taxes. So instead of having to trouble yourself too much about doing business and succeeding, all you have to do is just labor them with taxes. You own them. You can take money and then threaten them that if they speak, they will be sued. And when you're in that position, why would it be necessary for you to run a business anyway? You see how easy it can become. By the way, was Dayton Campbell prepared for interviews? Is telling people how his party gang up and thief taxpayers' money proof of that preparation? And no, he should sue himself, I believe. Right, but I forgot. He wasn't on an interview and he wasn't telling anyone but one of his own. This is the point I forgot. Seems like Jamaica has a new whistleblower. Blow the trumpet, just the watchman. Blow it louder land and sea. Guess what, people? I met an old man in England who used to lay beautiful parquet floors, and I learned a little of that trade myself. But the thing was that when the old man was working and the hammer hit him on the finger, I heard him say the F word to himself. I mean, he literally said F me, and I thought that it was an ungodly remark because even after getting it so bad, he still wanted to do it to himself again. Some people love to cause pain on themselves, and there is a word for it. Dayton reminds me of that old man. Imagine Dayton getting angry and looking in the mirror at the darn informer, his accuser, while he is screaming, F me, and he is not liking it, as he is the one getting disrespected every time the bugger says F me, and he is angry that this idiot won't stop dissing him. I wish Sapphire Langmore could help me unravel this confusing case. Anyway, it's befuddling. It's befuddling, but the PNP will lose the election because of lack of internal harmony. White Tutsi, Mr. Big Ben from London himself, who always repeat, time come like Big Ben, seems bent on symbolically doing the genocide number on the PNP Hutu majority. Now, isn't that a crying shame? They come in at the people them yard and I treat them like cheap dirt. Them use PNP comrades and kick them around like football. And it's so funny. The PNP people still running around about yes, Master Mark, yes, Master Mark. It's a shame how people can allow themselves to be used and shamed like that. There is that phenomenon about some women claiming that when they are beaten by their spouses, it is a sign of love. Yeah, it is true. There's a phenomenon like that. Well, the relationship between Mark and PNP comrades is what then? Tell me. Dr. Sapphire, please, please, Dr. Sapphire, explain it. The PNP will lose the election because of lack of inclusivity. They cannot balance the inclusion of new candidates with the retention of traditional PNP stalwarts to preserve the party's core values and unity. A part of this is because the core values of the PNP includes democratic socialism, but RISE United is all out capitalism, the new kind of slavery. You will have nothing and it will be a pain, but they advertise it by saying you will be happy to have not even a bus major visa. The PNP will lose for lack of mentorship programs. You cannot peer Hutu or you say Hutu and Tutsi, and you cannot peer experienced PNP members with new Rise United recruits to guide them and share valuable insights and strategies because it's only turning them into PNP and Masa Mark, Big Ben of London himself, Bing Bong, time come, will not have that. No, that's not kosher for him. It is not. Maybe if you were born under the London clock, Big Ben, you would be that way too. Bing bang, time come every hour, every half hour, and every 15 minutes. So I'm I'm not trying to prejudice people, you know. You say Yaman, right? Don't you? You say Yaman. I say Yaman. We all say Yaman for a reason. And Marky G says, time come for a reason too. It's all about where you were born. Culture is a powerful thing. And you expect people that were born under Big Ben to, well, some of it might rub off. It's expected that it will rub off in some ways. So there you have it. Bing bang, bing bang. The PNP will lose the election for lack of strategic endorsements. They are left with less capable candidates. They know it, but they won't believe they have a choice. It is like expecting them to learn on the job, but using able bodied, well supported candidates to pump their own energies into these weak candidates, right? And these able bodied candidates are PNP candidates whose energy will be stolen. Rise United prey on the energies of PNP comrades like Dracula. They know the political potential and public appeal of more rounded PNP members, but they use them to shore up the masses before discarding them and endorsing their own Rise faithful. They are desperate to win enough seats with Rise members because anything else will bring a challenge to them after the election. The PNP cannot maintain a proper support system. How can they offer continuous support and guidance to PNP candidates when they are like Hutu and Tutsi in an environment where they don't want the same things? This will lead to unsolvable problems, especially when they face challenging situations. They cannot prevent division among Rise itself, much less to prevent it between the two tribes. Rise and PNP are divided and will be that way forever because PNP standards are completely different, my friend. They are completely different. PNP is a different party from a capitalist one. They cannot communicate clearly because they must ever hide the truth. The leaders of the rights movement have to hide the truth. They keep the PNP members in an illusion. This does not foster an environment of open dialogue and transparency to ensure all members feel valued and heard. They cannot get over their differences, and their differences are intrinsic to who they are as separate groups. They have separate belief systems. You know, this is why an Adventist person cannot go to a, I don't even know what to call the other church, Jehovah's Witness church, because the values are the belief system is completely different, and maybe they're gonna carry a dish of pork for him to eat. He's not going to want that. These conflicts are literally impossible to resolve, and for that reason, the PNP prospect for winning the election depend on them succeeding in selling illusion after illusion, both to their party and to Jamaica as a whole. It's not even likely that they can pull off the easy one, much less the hard part. How can they implement effective conflict resolution mechanisms to address any internal disagreements and maintain unity when they are the ones that always need correcting in the eyes of their members and in the eyes of Jamaica as a whole. People are waiting for them to apologize and correct themselves while they are threatening anyone that says the obvious truth with lawsuits. They are already being the dictators and proposing new taxes even before the election. Make that make sense? It can't. The PNP cannot openly address its core values because that would, like Dayton Campbell would do, be exposing themselves that they are traitors to the PNP. They morphed the party into something else but the rose colored tinted glasses comrades cannot see it. If the if they openly acknowledge the changes within the party and communicate the reasons behind these shifts to build trust and understanding, most likely it would start even a bigger internal shift or a rift or a divide, right? Much of the appeal of the PNP was what it stood for in its core democratic socialism and not capitalism. So, what they are going to explain to unite the party is only going to divide it more. A socialist is a socialist, it's not a capitalist, it's almost like opposite. This is why the PNP will never have a unified vision to incorporate both traditional and the new Rise United values. it will not resonate with the broader base of supporters. Rise United cannot engage with PNP supporters. Mark Golding is awkward because he doesn't even know what to say under the circumstances. And when they send Dayton to do the pretense, he will make statements that threaten to rub out Mark Golding and Rise United. But he doesn't know better. His last rubbing out act was against himself the other day. It's hard for Rise to dialogue with the PNP. They cannot foster open discussions with party members and supporters to understand their concerns and perspectives and bridge the gap between different factions because it's two different parties that are working for different things. Only that one of those two parties does not know. And it's not like they could educate and convince the PNP comrades that capitalism and the Rise United dictatorship would be better than the PNP's democratic socialism of Michael Mann. Rise will have to rub out the PNP, and that's exactly what they are in the process of doing. The idea of inclusive leadership for a party that is making a shift does not apply here either. Not when it was meant to be a underhanded event. Every key decision making process must therefore be made by Rise United instead, and each influential leader must be of that persuasion to even be trusted. Obviously, with candidates that see the robot guy, Dayton Campbell, as a mentor, you know that concept of mentorship had long shifted from being useful. Recently, we saw how a candidate that looked up to him went on a platform and all but rubbed out herself. She was obviously learning too fast. You cannot evolve from an experience that was not intimate at some point. A tree must evolve because of source from its root. Rise United is a synthetic group and they will simply diffuse in the future. The PNP will have a difficult time at trying to not rub out the PNP. Their current struggles present an opportunity for going back to the core to grow and revitalize. But how can they achieve even that when the PNP members have no say in the PNP? Maybe time come for Mark, Big Ben, Golding, the chain man to go back to London and dismantle the Rise United chain gang, and only then will the PNP have the semblance of a chance to rise from the rise ashes. Think on these things, my people. Peace out.